all gas water heaters, along with ending the sales of all gas furnaces by the year 2030.
And so they're always going to worry about some guy who's Mexican-American down in Mendota who's driving a 1981 diesel pickup. And they're going to say, you know what? If you don't put your DEF additive into that old car and retrofit it for $5,000, we're going to make you take that off the road. But they think nothing of flying to Davos or overseas in a private jet.
Hey, how's it going? Lori, Siamak, nice meeting you.
Lori.
Nice meeting
Nice
you.
to meet you,
Jim,
Siamak.
very nice
It's a
meeting
pleasure.
you. Yeah, it's great to
What do you
meet you.
think of the Georgetown Divide?
It's awesome. It's great.
It's a
very
beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
We moved the first part of August of last year, so we've been gone just a little over a year. You know, we were living here in Georgetown on the Georgetown Divide, and it's all timber, it's all trees. We just got a note one day, said, we're canceling you. And they give you a number for the California Fair Plan. It's your only option.
Yeah, a lot of people's insurance were dropped just because you're in the trees.
Just about everybody up here. So, but you know that, and then in the politics.
One of the things that I realized working on this documentary is that when we think about politics, to the little people, politics is their problems. Can you solve my problem? I have this problem. Do you care about me? Will you answer my call when I reach out to you? You know, it's very simple.
And it went from being a few $100s to a few $1,000s.
Why was your insurance coverage dropped?
Because of fire danger.
It started down in the canyon, and it burned up to the north to the town of Forest Hill. And it burned right up to the town. Then it came back down, it came up this side of the canyon, and it really blew up coming up here, and that's when they started evacuating people.
It burned everything in its path. It was quite intense. It really steep grades and hills and canyons. So fire tends to really race uphill about 40% faster than downhill, than other directions, and especially with the wind pushing it. It was a very hot fire. Since there hadn't been a significant fire in that area for many, many years, it burned much more intensely because the fuel was available, and it burned everything in its path.
And we've had environmental policies for decades, federal and state, that say don't clean up the forest and the wildlands. Just let it grow. Don't clean it up, just leave it be. Well, now we're reaping the rewards of that. So by overprotecting the forest and the wildlands, we've harmed them. The fuel has grown out of control.
You know, for years here in California, they've had this hands-off, mentality. You can't disturb, don't touch our trees. Like there's some sacred cow. You're not supposed to rake the pine needles away from the base of a tree. It's just a mess. I mean, trees fall down, they rot, and pine cones and limbs and,
It's really thick with vegetation.
Are these trees dead now? Or
yes, yeah, they're all, if they're not dead, they're gonna be dead. Burn everything, it's all gone. They predicted that it was gonna burn to the northwest, which was us. It was gonna take us out. The house, a quarter mile from us, they were evacuated. And then we had our son Joey and tell him about his medical equipment. We'd have to set that up in our RV, or travel trailer.
9 pieces of equipment plus all of his medical supplies and things you can't just, if you forget, run down to Walmart and grab. I mean, it's all prescription stuff, and so we had to make sure we had all of that. And then we had my parents next door, which they were both disabled, so it was, getting them ready to evacuate.
The vegetation will come back, and you'll start seeing seedlings, trees coming back.
Look at a tree like this. It's all burnt. Wow, this is very sad to see this, even inside.
In geologic time, or even the forest time, 15, 20 years is not much. In our lifetime, 15, 20 years is a long time. And I can see how it'd be very frustrating for somebody who's living out there, because you buy and you build because of the natural beauty of the forest, and then a forest fire comes through and changes all that. It's heartbreaking, because we're here to protect and serve, and that is a failure point that for some reason we weren't able to do what we needed to do to protect those people there. You can get into a long list of, okay, they didn't do enough work themselves, or they built in the wrong place, but as a firefighter, I still see that as a point of failure on our part.
My hometown is Santa Cruz, California.
Oh, okay.
And she was born in the Bay Area, lived in a town called Woodside.
Okay.
And she came up here, they had family friends up here.
What if you were like in charge of this whole thing in the state? They told you you can't fix this problem. What would you do?
Probably jump off that bridge you were talking about earlier. No, I don't have all the answers. And, I'm just, a blue-collar guy here in, Georgetown, now in Nevada. But Gavin Newsom signed a bill or declaration or a decree. No new internal combustion vehicles are going to be sold in the state of California as of 2035. And they're telling us now that to turn your swamp cooler and your air conditioner off, because they don't, the grid doesn't have the power.
Or they shut the power off, and then, most people will turn their generator on. But if they outlaw the sale of generators, they aren't going to be able to do that for power.
Did you guys have that issue happen? Did you ever lose power here?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. When the wind blows, they shut the power off. When it snows, the power goes out. In the summertime, if it's high fire season, they shut the power off.
But we had a swamp cooler. Well, the only way you can run a swamp cooler is you got to have water and you have to have electricity. And you get up here and it's 105 degrees in the summertime, and you can't have the swamp cooler on. It gets pretty miserable in the house, especially in the evening when you're going to try to go to sleep. Yeah, and a lot of people up here are getting whole house generators. I mean, everybody's got a generator up here. You have to, because the power's off constantly.
Was it like this 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
No.
These people are not political. It seems like the state and the leaders are in such a kind of elitist, like disconnected place. They're trying to solve different kinds of problems that average Californians don't have. So what do you miss about this place?
The trees, ironically. The shade, the trees. I mean, it's beautiful here. Especially if you go up in the high country. You get up there and there's less trees. It's more, there's more granite. And, California's the most beautiful state in the union. But it's just that the way they're governing is just ruined it for me.
The disconnect is the politicians are not on the same page as the people. They don't want solutions. A lot of them are making money off our problems. If they solved our problems, a lot of them would be out of business. Their campaigns wouldn't have the money to create the legislation they're creating, which has nothing to do with solving the problems.
It was hard to wrap my head around some of the things I learned throughout this journey. But then at other times, you kind of just don't want to understand it, even though it's right in front of you.
There's people that are making their careers feeding off of the homeless. You look at the nonprofits, the 501c3, that's a whole shadowy world of organizations with CEOs making $800,000 a year, managers, directors pulling in $200,000 plus. But that is just a tiny slice of the big picture here. Remember, you spend $6.5 billion over 10 years only to see your problem double in size. Didn't go to help the homeless for sure. Where'd the money go?
There was a measure in LA that passed 7 years ago in 2016, and they were supposed to build 10,000 homes to house 20,000 homeless people. And each home was supposed to cost $120,000. Up to today, each home is 5 times the original budgeted cost. And they've only built like 1,000, 1,100 homes. But if it takes 10 years, 15 years to house these people, by that time, those people may not even be alive.
There's people that are trying to sell it like it's an affordable housing crisis. Not at all. If you're smoking meth 24/7, rent could be a nickel a month and you couldn't afford it.
They're completely failing to look at the real reasons why the majority of people we see are on the streets. It's almost like it's taboo to say that it's drugs or mental illness. In places like Skid Row, we have drug dealers who control every block. So if a homeless person tries to set up an encampment on a particular street, what he or she doesn't know if that block is controlled by a drug dealer. So if they try to set up, the drug dealer's gonna say, what are you doing here? Well, you're gonna say, I'm homeless, I need a place to stay. Well, no, this is my block. So here's what you have to do. You either pay me your entire Social Security check to stay here, or you house my women for sex work, hold my drugs, sell my drugs for me. And if you don't do that, you're gonna get assaulted until you leave. And what happens with that is places like Skid Row become too dangerous to be homeless in. So a lot of these individuals go in for a short time, but then they leave and set up encampments in other parts of the county and other counties across Southern California. And now you're having many Skid Rows pop up. And as those get more dangerous, guess what? Those people are going to start to break off and create another encampment. But no, you can't just come and set up in Skid Row without being approached or accosted by a gang member or a drug dealer.
So I went to talk to an expert, somebody that has been working on the ground on the homeless issue.
Sorry about that.
His name is Zach Southall.
You like white socks or black socks?
He's so close to the ground.
They're all the small ones. But I got those ones and I got these cool Hilfiger ones too.
Day in and day out, he's going out there helping the homeless people. He's building relationships with them. He's trying to find out why they ended up in this situation, get to their heart and help them. And he doesn't get a penny from the state government.
So chicken and pasta? It's pretty good. We just picked it up from the kitchen. Would you like a water? Like that. Got like a, oh, here's fork and knife and stuff too. I'm Zach, by the way. But like what happens is if we come too late, everybody gets really high and then nobody knows who I am, and it's like kind of a, it's kind of a useless endeavor to be here if I can't make connections and forge relationships. You know what I mean? That's what the food's about. You know, like I'm not just trying to feed people. I really want to get them off the street. So if I can't do that unless we have a meaningful conversation. And unfortunately, you know, I can't have a meaningful conversation with someone who's super high, like that girl at the bench. You know, unfortunately, who I've talked to before, but right now she's just on a bender right now, so she can hardly even do anything, which is sad. The majority of the people that I work with the homeless, you know, they're dealing with some kind of trauma, heartbreak. It's a depth, it's an issue, it's a heart issue. It's not this surfacey, oh, let's just get him off this drug and he'll be fine. It won't work. It's kind of like it's the merry-go-round system again. He'll be clean for a little bit and then he'll fall right back into it. It's just like you didn't address the root cause of the issue. And that's what I think that our focus has been and continues to be, getting to that root cause. What is that? That's the only way that works, is to get to that. And that's so tough. That requires investment in people that government's not ready to make, and they're not good at, frankly. Hey, Bree. How you doing? You already got some lunch? Yeah, I got some. Oh, you got hooked up. You got the donuts and everything, too, huh? No way, dude. That's rad. How did you sneak by me? I didn't even see you.
Oh, you were at the top of Jerry.
Oh, I was? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say hi. Is everything going okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, do you have my number still? Because I wanted to, you know, I want to help whenever you're ready.
It's in my other bag.
Oh, okay. So you have it?
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else I can get for you? I mean, is there anything else I can do?
Right now, I'm pretty good, I think.
Okay, cool.
I have pretty much everything I need.
All right, I got a couple gift cards, like Starbucks, and Starbucks is dope, right? I mean, the coffee, or I have, I have Subway too. Do you like Subway?
I'm not a big fan of Subway.
Okay, then I'm going to give you the Starbucks card. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Let me see. Do you need a bus pass or anything?
I was just about to ask if you
Perfect. I brought this for you because I never have bus passes, and I have one right now. I got a 30-day. That way you can get to where you need to go. All right, so you got to come see me one of these days. We're having real conversation that's leading to real relationship being developed, and people will actually tell you what's going on, you know, and they'll actually tell you what happened. You'll get the real story. Then next week they see you again, next week they see you again, next week they see you again, and eventually they're gonna trust you. And then when they're ready for a change, guess who they're gonna call? Guess who they're gonna trust with that? You. Would you guys like some lunch? Are you hungry at all? It's chicken pasta. I think there is a very prevalent thought process for most Americans, I think, when they look at homelessness and they look at a homeless person, they think that person made some bad decisions that led them to this, and they kind of deserve what they got.
How long have you been here in
Homeless? I've been homeless for about maybe 15 years or more.
I've been trying to get off the streets. It's just, even doctor recommended, it's not good for me to go into a shelter.
There's a lot of people that you would be surprised by their stories. You know, you would, and if you walked a mile in their shoes, would you make it? Would you even get to where they're at? Or would you have fallen apart?
When we were making this documentary, I actually felt somewhat depressed. It's sad to see the state of California where we are. And on top of it, most people don't really know the true situation. Then I felt like there's no hope for California. But then when I met Zach,
Well, I have socks.
what happens with people like Zach is that they see a problem, they go start doing something about it, and they do a little bit, whatever they can. There is a lot of challenges that somebody like Zach faces to help one person. He has to meet with so many people, has to try to build a lot of relationships. There's no help from the government, but he's just doing it out of his heart. And then I realized there's so many other people doing the same, but their stories are not told. The press is not covering them. I think the hope that it gave me is that the future of California is in the hands of these people. And if I can help share their stories, maybe it will inspire more Californians to do the same.